Mathew, obviously, whilst you're down in Cape Town, the show goes on in Johannesburg, and obviously you've had a lot to do with these horses' preps. So, MILFORD Sound is a filly by Flower Alley that runs in the second of the afternoon, gets a mile for the first time.
Yeah, and she ran first time out for us over 1200. It was a nice run, pleasing run. She finished it off well. The way she ran, she definitely should love the extra distance, and she has a very nice draw, so we're expecting her to go close.
And obviously, since we left Johannesburg, the weather has been sparkling. I believe it's not been devoid of the odd shower, but it is better.
Yeah, the horses are able to get out and do a bit of work, which they haven't been able to do for the past 7 days.
He won a very, very good race at Greyville, but he didn't beat much. But his last one was encouraging, and he looks like he should be a pretty fit horse despite the rain.
Yeah, listen, that race he won at Durban that day, I don't think any horse has actually come from that formula and done anything good. He got quite I wouldn't say he got a penalty for winning that race, but his rating was quite high going into it, and I don't think he's dropped enough yet to where he should be. He was dropped 2 points off this last run, but I think he needs to be dropped another 3 or 4 points before he'll, I can't say competitive because it is a handicap and he's been competitive in his last couple of runs, but before he'll win again. But listen, he's a very honest horse. He does not give a lot away at home, so you can never actually fancy him in his work. You just got to run him, and I know for a fact he's going to try his hardest, but I think he's got a decent draw, and we did miss a bit of work at Turffontein last week, but he's racing fit, and like I said, it's a handicap, and I think it's quite an open race. You can't be confident, but I think you've got to put a few in the pick six there.
Okay, APACHE TOO. We know he's a high-class individual. The Al-Mutawakil form tells us that, and he backed up pretty soon after his return to racing. I think he should be just about spot on now.
Yeah, he's very fit now. He's had some time to get over those 2 close runs, and been able to put some more work into him. I'm not sure about 1800, but I can't fault his form, and we expect a good run.
Noble Secret, obviously he's not without his problems, but he's certainly not without talent, and I think we just got to draw a line straight to that last start. He pulled like a dentist.
Yeah, definitely through the last starts, although he hasn't been sparkling. His form hasn't been sparkling of late. We're putting the blinkers on, the tongue tie on, throwing the kitchen sink at him. He probably have 1 or 2 more runs. If he doesn't come back to himself, we may think about retiring him, but I'm hoping that the opposite happens, that he runs a good race.
What's he like in work? I mean, is he showing you good work?
He is, and that's why we're persevering. You know, he is working very well, and he's not showing signs of any problem. Maybe just that the races has become a bit unwilling, and if horses carry on doing that, then I guess you can't force the issue.
Super. Then ROCKSTAR Child is a son of Mambo in Seattle. It looks like there's a fair amount of pedigree on the dam line, and tries 2.8 for the first time.
Yeah, I was looking for to be honest, for a 2000 or maybe a 2.4, you know, but the program was a bit light over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and the horse is doing exceptionally well within himself at home. So, you know what, I put him in 1800 last time, and he was nowhere at the 300 and staying on very stoutly at the last 200 of the race. So I think he's definitely a type of horse that's going to stay further than an 18 or a 2000. I just don't know. You know, 280 is like a big jumping trip, but that's what's there at the moment, and the horse is doing very well within himself. So yeah, he must run. We've got a good draw, I think, draw 1. So we're just going to ride him patiently, and I think he's going to enjoy the slightly softer going. He's a horse that definitely does not enjoy the hard, what I've seen the last 2 or 3 runs from him. So yeah, listen, hopefully he can do well for Mike. He's a staunch supporter of my old boss over the years, and I've known Mike a very long time, so hopefully the horse can do well for him.
On to the 8th race, where we've got ALRAMZ.
Yeah, ALRAMZ is a smart horse. I thought he made a good comeback in the 1000 metres, which was too short for him. He's a big, strong horse, so the run would have definitely tightened him up. He's extremely well weighted. You know, if he brings his best to the course, he's got to be one of the better runners of the day, and hoping he goes well.
ROCKSTAR Child is a son of Mambo in Seattle. It looks like there's a fair amount of pedigree on the dam line, and tries 2.8 for the first time.
Yeah, I was looking for to be honest, for a 2000 or maybe a 2.4, you know, but the program was a bit light over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and the horse is doing exceptionally well within himself at home. So, you know what, I put him in 1800 last time, and he was nowhere at the 300 and staying on very stoutly at the last 200 of the race. So I think he's definitely a type of horse that's going to stay further than an 18 or a 2000. I just don't know. You know, 280 is like like a big jumping trip. But that's what's there at the moment, and the horse is doing very well within himself. So yeah, he must run. We've got a good draw, I think, draw 1. So we're just going to ride him patiently, and I think he's going to enjoy the slightly softer going. He's a horse that definitely does not enjoy the hard. What I've seen the last 2 or 3 runs from him. So yeah, listen, hopefully he can do well for Mike. He's a staunch supporter of my old boss over the years, and I've known Mike a very long time, so hopefully the horse can do well for him.
Then we've got Chip of the Old Block, maybe not going to Hollywood, but a prayer.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a break. You know, I hang on to these type of horses because you need them to work your youngsters with. You know, he's not a world beater, but he's a good workhorse, and therefore I like keeping him around. But he's going to need it, so therefore he's out at the weights in the plate race. He's just going to use it as a gallop.
Okay, then let's take a look at Cape Town. A horse that's named after Lawrence Vernus's wife, Tessa, of course, called Retail Therapy.
Yeah, it's owned by Preggy, but yeah, listen, she's also terribly weighted, but you know, we buy these horses for these type of races. She was a reserve one, so luckily we got in. We're going to put some scoops on her. MJ Bailiff's been doing a lot of work on her. He feels she'll be better with the blinkers. Also not a cracking draw, so we're going to give her a bit of a chance. And listen, they're paying well in those races, and they pay further down in 5th, you know, so hopefully we can scrape into the money.
Okay, then let's talk about True to Life. You've had some good horses in your time. I know that New Predator was one that used to get you up in the mornings. She looks a little bit special. She looks special. She behaves special in her performances so far and her sternest test to date.
Yeah, listen, it's definitely probably the strongest field she's run against. But she's a really good filly. The Guineas wasn't actually part of our prep, but she just won so well 2 weeks ago, and then the rain came, and I just said, you know what, we're in this game to win big races, so why not take a chance? Why? We got to go in 3 weeks' time and run in a 3 Troikas, another Group 3 for another 120 grand. If she wins it, for what? You know, we want to get on the big stage with good horses, and she's proper quality, this filly. So yeah, we're going to take our chances. I would have liked to get a bit more, even though she only ran a couple of days ago at Turffontein. I would have liked to get a good workout into her last week Friday at Turffontein, which we didn't get. But yeah, she's here on merit. She's an incredible filly, and yeah, she's a type of horse that's going to give you confidence no matter where you run her.
You obviously know that a filly's good when the Cape Town trainers start asking me, as a roving journalist, how good she is. At the end of the day, she's been to the track, which is a big advantage to her, to stretch her legs there. And we know that when she won her first start with Gavin Arena up, she was nowhere near fancied. She just has an extraordinary pedigree, and her physical stature is quite mind-boggling.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you got to look hard in a country to find a better pedigree than this filly. She's just, I mean, Circle of Life is a second dam. The mother was very good by Madagadora. I mean, she's got a proper pedigree, and if you look at her as a specimen, I don't know how she never got money at the yearling sale, to be very honest with you. She's probably one of the best looking horses specimens I've seen in my entire life. So yeah, I don't know much about her first start. Gavin said to me they didn't fancy her, but I just remember seeing her going down to Turffontein, a second start, on the way to the start, and the action, it was just mind-boggling, and that's where the whole pursuit of trying to get her came about, and yeah, thank God we got her.
And I suppose you have to really say hats off to Robin Bruss, because not only did he breed her the Horse of the Year and do it again, who runs on the same day, but it's a family that he's really believed in.
Well, that's Robin's style, you know. I don't know Robin as well as most other people, but what I've learned from Justin is Robin believes in families. And not only did he breed a July winner, but he also bred a horse called Walt Pays, who won the Mercury Sprint last year on the same season. So 2 Group 1 winners in one season from I think 6 or 7 mares he has. I mean, it tells you a lot. So maybe that's the way to go. He does it the right way.